See, look, he had me believing there. He had me believing to the extent where I'm even wearing my new replica kit, sat at home watching a game of football like a man child. Sorry if that's something that you do a lot, but I don't really. I don't really even buy the replica kits. I quite like this one, the new one. Home one and the away one. Very nice. Didn't really like the third one. I'm not here to talk about kits. I'm here to talk about that. Yeah, like I say, Ange had us believing. We thought he was, invincible. We thought he could do no wrong. And tonight, he got that very, very wrong. I'm sorry. Sorry, I know we're not allowed to criticise him at the moment, but 9 changes. 9 changes. We're not in Europe. Got 1 game a week. Do we need to make 9 changes? Was that necessary? I guess, he'd know that more. He'd know the fatigue levels of the squad and how much he wants to give game time to the other players. But that wholesale change, that A team, B team thing, haven't we seen how bollocks that is with Nuno Espirito Santo? And I know everyone loves Ange. I love Ange. I'm absolutely obsessed with the fella at the moment. But let's be consistent with the criticism, He doesn't get away from this. You wouldn't let Mourinho get away with this. You wouldn't let Conte get away with this. We didn't even used to let Pochettino get away with this. Love Ange, but that's on him tonight. It is on him tonight. Sorry, And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Look, Fulham away, yeah, okay, I get it. It's not a banker. It's not something that we're entitled to go and win. They're a Premier League team at the end of the day. Fucking who am I kidding? Do you know what I mean? Come on, we don't need to all due respect it to Fulham. We should be beating them. We're Tottenham fucking Hotspur. We want to win these competitions. This is supposed to be the competition that we win this year. That we were going to take more seriously. Prioritise the domestic trophies. We don't have Europe. But what's the fucking excuse now? I already had a little dig at him. I didn't have a dig. I just said I'm not particularly... I was surprised that the starting lineup was as weak as it was. And then watching the way in which the first half unfolded, nobody really up to speed, nobody really in any kind of rhythm. The team just lacking any sense of fluidity. Fluidity, which is something that's completely characterised Ange Postecoglou's reign thus far at Tottenham. To kind of spoil that momentum by making wholesale changes like that, away at a Premier League team, I'm sorry, I'm not there for that. And, he deserves to be criticised for that. It's just very disappointing. It's very disappointing. My point was going to be that I said something to the effect that I wasn't very happy with him watching how that first half was unfolding. And somebody replied to me saying, well, we quite simply don't have the squad for this. Come on, man. We don't have the squad, to compete in the Carabao Cup and in the Premier League. Why don't we? Of course we do. Come on. Can't make these excuses. We don't have the squad. It's not even guaranteed that we're going to finish in the top 4 or anything like that. We've got to make our minds up here. What we want. We want cup glory, or we want to, just aim for this mechanical approach to the Premier League. Isn't everything that's all the rhetoric around Ange Postecoglou thus far? Hasn't that all been that we want to win every game? We want to treat every game the same. We're not going to prioritise anything other than winning. So let's be consistent with that. Let's be consistent and say it's disappointing to go out of the League Cup, something that we probably hoped that we could have won this year. And now we've just gone out in a pretty meek fashion like that. It's very disappointing. It's very, very disappointing. And, I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised that he would want to spoil the momentum in that way. It's... I don't know, man. It's what it is. We go again. We're still going to win the Premier League. We're going to win the FA Cup. Win the double. There you go. We can win the double. League Cup's just a distraction anyway. Blah, blah, blah. But that is annoying. That is annoying. Not only because I enjoy watching, I have enjoyed watching this Ange Postecoglou team so far. We don't have many games this year. So it's nice to, when you're actually enjoying football, to see more games. But that wasn't particularly enjoyable tonight, that rotation. That almost was back to, how it's been the past few years. I just think that's, surely he knows better than that. He's an experienced manager, right? This is what we're told. On one hand, we're told he's an experienced manager. So don't underestimate him. Just because he's come from Celtic, just because he's come from Australia. This guy's won stuff. I don't even need to go this hard on him. I don't. I really like him. I really do like him. What I'm rallying against more is the inconsistencies with fan narratives. The way in which people police one another. The way in which, you will see somebody called knee jerk or whatever, This stuff always gets wrapped up with some sense of intellectual superiority when, again, football's an emotional game, and it's annoying to see us throw away a cup competition like that. And really, the blame rests with the manager. It does, So I don't need to be told that. I don't need to be given excuses for him. I don't. I'm not calling for his head. It's bigger me, I know, isn't it? But I'm just a bit annoyed. I'm just annoyed. I record these immediately after the game. Bear that in mind. When you're listening to this, on Thursday or something, when you get around to hearing this and you think, oh God, why is he belly aching like this? The final whistle has gone, and then I go and sit at my computer and I record this. So this is in the moment, it's raw, it's fresh. Don't like to see Tottenham go out. I especially don't like to see Tottenham lose to fucking Fulham. I don't like to see what is going to be immediately already, Tottenham got a new manager, they're still Spursy, all that fucking shit that it's going to be all fucking week. It's just raw, it's annoying. I thought that was going to be, the chance for a bit of success for Spurs this season. But here we are. It's not... we're out, and we just have to deal with that and hope that the team can learn from that. We the positives we can take from defeats, the positives we can take from negatives. I guess, does that draw them up to a neutral? Does this make it a neutral point? There we go. Maybe it does. If we can take any positives from this, it's that hopefully the team can learn from this. We haven't lost in the fucking quarterfinal or semi-final of the competition in this fashion. We've lost in the first round. It's annoying, but, one less fixture for us to play. Yep, it might be less football for us to enjoy, but it's one less fixture for us to play. Squad gets more rest, more time to play with one another on the training ground. Not like that, you filthy, filthy bastards. It's annoying. But you know what? If I am going to silver line, put a silver lining on this. I'm happier that we've come down to a bump against Fulham in this round of the League Cup, as opposed to against Bournemouth this weekend. And I don't think we don't need to choose between the two, but that's just the way I'm trying to rationalise this at the moment. Really, the Premier League is still the bread and butter. It is still the priority, and we're doing well in that. Maybe the cup would be a distraction. Fuck that, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking doing that. I don't buy that, and I don't want to say that, and because that wouldn't be in good faith. I don't feel that way. I feel annoyed. But still, I hope this is at least something that can be used, as I say, once again, as a learning experience. It will allow us to kick on from here and iron out any kinks in this, like, not making 9 changes ahead of a game. There's learning for you, Mr. Postecoglou. That first half, like I said, let's have a look at the game a bit. In that first half, everybody looked like strangers. It felt like they didn't have any grip on the system, on what it was that Ange Postecoglou wanted them to do, which took me by surprise somewhat, because even though I was quite annoyed with the amount of rotation at the start of the game, or at least surprised by the amount of rotation at the very start of the game, I did think, well, don't get annoyed about this, because we saw in some of those pre-season friendlies when we did a wholesale switch over of sides that often the B team would end up playing better than the A team, or the so-called A team and so-called B team. So maybe that, the logic would dictate that the same thing would happen in this fixture. But that wasn't the case, quite clearly. For whatever reason, they just weren't up to it. We really, really missed Basuma, we missed Maddison, definitely missed Udogie. Ben Davis, maybe great centre-back in part of a 3. Playing a system like this where you're requiring your full-backs to be dynamic, that ain't his game. That isn't his game. It's just not for him. I think he tried his best, but, no. Just no. Dav Sanchez, just a bit all over the place. I'm less bought into the idea now that, maybe, he can actually kind of have a bit of a rejuvenation under Ange. Maybe this Ange's system will suit him better. Let's just fucking do away with this now, man. Let's do away with him. Let's do away with Dyer. I don't want to keep having these same conversations about these same players. It's been nice for the past few weeks to be having such a largely refreshed squad. I hate going back to this place where we're having to just worry about going too hard on a player because it's not very nice, because they're all human beings and whatever, and that doesn't make that any less true, but also fucking just shut up, just fucking sell him now, man. Like, we turned down, I think, like 9 million from, I'm not sure who it was, Mets or someone like that. I think I saw, just sell him. Just get him out of the club now, man. Get him out, get Dyer out. Apparently Bayern and Borussia Dortmund both want Eric Dyer. Great, fantastic. Let's have that. Let's get him gone. Don't think they're bad people. I think they're nice guys. I think people are out of order to them. But I'm so fucking tired of this same thing over and over again where, Dav was all right. He's just not fucking good enough, is he? He isn't good enough. We know he's not good enough. He was meaning that Van de Ven had to do twice the fucking work that he does when he's alongside Romero. And he ended up conceding that own goal. It wasn't really his fault, but he was fucking all over the place. He had to be running everywhere, doing the work of basically 2 players, because Davinson Sanchez just had no positional awareness whatsoever. He's just a guy that just stands in the defence, and he can make some great recovery tackles. He can, and we see that every now and again. And I still think that gives us this false sense of like, actually maybe he can be good, or he just fundamentally is not good enough. And we've known this for so long now. I know I do all the players individually at the end, but it just felt like this was, a particular talking point. I've been making the point for Højbjerg for the past few weeks. I quite like seeing him come on to shore up a game. This again, this was just such a reminder again tonight of Højbjerg, of his, not only his limitations, but just the things he does that are so fucking frustrating. He's such a good player, but he's so fucking careless at times. It's like he doesn't give a shit. And I don't think that's the case, because he is somebody that works hard every time he's on the ball, but he just doesn't think. He doesn't think when he's in possession of the ball so much of the time. And he just like knocks the ball about and just knocks it away to anybody. I don't know. He really irritated me tonight. But that first half, there was nothing cohesive there. Richarlison was just woeful again. And I mean, that feels harsh because he wasn't really getting any opportunities. There wasn't a functioning team behind him. It just felt very all over the place. That's the only thing I can say. It just felt like the type of football we've been watching for the past few years, where nobody was really working for one another. Nobody really looked like they were bought into what we were doing. Didn't feel like there was any decent spirit there. And it just doesn't surprise me that this team tonight was built up of a few, mostly the old familiar faces. And look what's happened. Because I have seen a bit of the and I've done it myself, but the digs at Conte, Mourinho and everything, saying, oh, look, he proves he can coach these lot. But for the most part, it has been a really new, rejuvenated team that we've been fielding in the Premier League. Conte was giving him a few opportunities, maybe not as many as he should have been. Basuma, okay, that's where he's got blood on his hands. But James Maddison, new player. Udogie, new player. Vicaria, new player. Van der Ven, new player. Have I said James Maddison already? I don't know. Old familiar faces, old familiar habits tonight. And just fucking, come on, please, before this window closes, please just get rid of some of this lot. Please. Because this has been such a stark reminder. It's like that blissful bubble that we've been in for the past few weeks, walking on air, floating, head in the clouds. Oh, Ange Postecoglou, all the rest of it has just burst tonight, and it's just been such a stark reminder of a lot of the issues that still lay beneath the surface. The club still needs to get a fucking. This isn't Ange yet. I'll dig Ange out for the starting lineup tonight, but the rest of it's a lot of the frustration from tonight. Really, is on the club still arsing about with so many of these players that we just know aren't fit for purpose. That we've done this dance time and time and time again, and we're all just fucking sick of it. Move them on now. Move them the fuck on. Bring in a couple more faces before the window closes. I implore you, please. We've seen what Ange Postecoglou can do already with the new players that he has been backed with. Let's just go a bit further. Let's help him out a bit. Come on. We've just got fucking £100 million to Harry. We sold Harry Kane, for fuck's sake. We sold Harry Kane. That's got to stand for something. It's got to mean something. West Ham sold Declan Rice and have completely rebuilt their midfield with the money that they got from that deal. Come on, Tottenham. Just fucking don't disappoint us again like this. Second half, when we started to bring on the new faces, immediately we started looking much better, didn't we? We're playing with more verve, playing with a bit more pizzazz. Dane Scala, he's busy, isn't he? I think he probably could have done a bit better with that one opportunity that fell to him. But hey, he's young. These sort of things happen. It is a bit disappointing, though, that we couldn't have really gotten it over the line towards the end. Maddison again came on, proved his quality. Look, let's do the players. Let's do the players, because I'm. Second half was better. It was an improvement, but that's no fucking surprise, is it? We brought on some of the better players. We brought on some of the Premier League squad, and we started to look better. Like I say, old familiar faces, old familiar habits. Let's stop doing this, Tottenham. Let's go to the players. Tottenham, Fulham. So, Fraser Forster. Yeah, I look. Let's not go too hard on him. He's his first game back for a while. He's been injured. I always thought his distribution was a lot better than he displayed tonight. Maybe that's just because Vicario's is really good, and I'm suddenly seeing it compared to that. Maybe I haven't been giving Vicario enough credit for the quality of his distribution, but it just seemed notable to me tonight that Fraser Forster did seem a bit clunky. I think he did quite well though overall. I think he pulled off that one. Was it Jimenez who I think headed it down low and Forster got down low and like scooped it up with one of his great fucking frying pan hands and got it out. Like it was a very nice reflex save. He was solid enough. He was decent enough tonight. Just like I say, the thing that stood out for me was his distribution. Emerson Royale, I thought was fine. I thought he was okay. I thought he was solid enough. Actually, I think much of the time when he was called upon to have to make a decent tackle, he generally did that. I think he performed pretty well compared to a lot of other people tonight. Wasn't outstanding by any means, but I thought he was okay. That's kind of where I'll go. Davinson Sanchez, I've had a go at him already in the start of this. Just whatever, not a bad guy. Blah blah blah. Not nice to boo him. I get all this, but let's just end this one. Cannot keep going on about this. All right, let's just sell him this transfer window. Let's sell him. Let's sell Dyer. Let's bring in somebody else. Come on, please. I don't even see it as like, oh, it's a risk to bring in somebody. No, because these two, Dyer and Sanchez. I mean, Dyer categorically cannot work in this system at all. The only place Eric Dyer I feel could work is in midfield, and I don't want to see him play there. I'm not saying that's where I want to see him play, but I'm saying that is, to me, the only place he could occupy on the pitch for Ange Postecoglou. He could not play centre back in this system. Davinson Sanchez is Davinson Sanchez at the best times. No. Van de Ven, I thought, was trying his best. He looked a bit clumsy, but I think he was having to do the work of two defenders tonight. I really do. I think Sanchez just was constantly floating out of position, constantly not reading the game, just in the way that he does, and he looks good, like I say, because he makes so many recovery tackles, but he makes recovery tackles because it's generally something he's done wrong. Van de Ven, not a vintage performance from him, an own goal, but do I blame him for that? No, not really. So that's that. Ben Davis, Gentle Ben, whatever we want to call him. I'm often a bit of a defender of his. I like him as a squad player. Tonight is maybe the first time when I'm starting to wonder, is he actually suited to this system? I've just said that of Dyer there. And I'm wondering, because I don't want to see him play centre-back in a 4, but can he play left-back in this system? Is he dynamic enough? Is he, does he have the required physical capabilities to operate in this system? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I don't know, man. Manos Solomon, I thought he was good. I thought he was lively. I thought he was one of the sort of brighter sparks in the game for us. I'm surprised he's had so little pitch time thus far, but that's that. It's the way it is. I thought he seized his opportunity well tonight. He was trying to make things happen. He had that one nice kind of rasping shot in the second half. Sonny carved out an opportunity for him, and he did well with that. I think that was the one that fell to Dane Scarlett. But I thought Solomon was decent. I thought he was good. I liked I appreciated his toil. Oliver Skip, no, just not good tonight. And this might be because he's been now juxtaposed with Pape Matar Sarr, who has been just phenomenal for the past few weeks. It may well be that Oliver Skipp's had to play alongside Piero Højbjerg, where Pape Matar's been blessed with playing alongside Bissouma, and obviously James Maddison as well. So, it feels harsh to judge him individually, but that's what we're doing right now. We're judging each of these players individually, and it's just, just not very dynamic, not very exciting. You don't get the same drive, and I don't think you get the same just overall quality with Skip that you get from Pape Matar, who I actually think is a class above Skip. Going into the season, I was thinking, they're two young players. They've both got good qualities in different ways. It'll be neck and neck. I think they'll get an equal amount of opportunities, and I'd quite like to see them get an equal amount of opportunities. But I actually think Sarr has, already I think we can see he's got a much higher ceiling than Skip's ever going to have, and just looks like a really quality player. And that showed up a lot tonight, watching that Skip performance. Piero Højbjerg, I've gone on about him. I hear Manchester United are after him. I still see talk that Liverpool might be interested in him. Good. Let's get rid of him. Maybe we can use Skip to do that Højbjerg role, to bring him on at the end of games, like we've been doing with Højbjerg, to shore him up Manchester United, Bournemouth. Let's just do a Skip. Skip can tackle. Skip works hard. Just let's get some money for Højbjerg. If we can get a decent bit of money for him, I still think in this market, I think we'd be getting ripped off if we were getting less than about 35, 40 mil for him, being brutally honest. I think he's got a couple of years left at least on his contract. But maybe if, we might have to take a bit less than that. And I also don't know how I feel about really strengthening United or Liverpool. But when I say that, they might have holes in their squad, but I don't really think Højbjerg strengthens them, because I've seen enough from him to suggest that he just isn't that good. I don't think he has the quality to be somebody that really is a problem for us if he does sign for Manchester United or Liverpool and we're vying for the same places. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't strike my instinct on that. It doesn't. I don't even hesitate. I don't even feel somehow dodgy about that. Yeah. Even Perisic, again, not a great performance from him tonight, but he did have Ben Davies playing behind him, who, like I've already commented, isn't the most dynamic. We've seen even Perisic when he's playing alongside Destiny Udogie that he can be of use, can be of worth to this Tottenham team. So, I don't really want to judge him off the back of tonight, other than maybe he's just not that well suited to starting games anymore. Whether he's too old or I don't know. I guess it would just be that. But yeah, not a vintage performance. But in saying that, I think he provided the assist for the goal. So fair play on that front. Fair play. We do know he can do that. Gio Lo Celso, bit of a nothingy performance, I thought, being brutally honest. Quite disappointing. I thought he might be somebody that might step up and take this one by the scruff. You can see what a drop-off it is from James Maddison to him. I sort of secretly was thinking that he might be all right. He might do quite a job in Maddison's absence, but it's stark. Like I said, I don't think Lo Celso was particularly bad, and I think we have to extend him the same courtesy as we do some of the other players tonight, that he didn't have a fully functioning team unit behind him, supporting him, providing him with the necessary balls or play or space by which to, pass the ball to somebody else or receive the ball and try and make something happen. We know he can do those driving runs. That's kind of quite a, characteristic mark of Lo Celso's game, but he didn't really get the opportunity to do that. How much of that is down to him and how much of that is down to the team and the system remains to be seen. But all I can do is judge him based his performance tonight in this section at least, and I did find it quite disappointing. So, take from that what you will. Richarlison, glad he got a goal. Other than that, I thought he was pretty abject again. It's just disappointing, Let's just keep our powder dry on Richarlison. He scored a goal. Let's hope he can build on that. I think that's all that needs to be said right now, because the conversations around Richarlison are starting to repeat, aren't they? Heung-min Son, we saw his quality as he came onto the pitch. We saw what it is that he's doing within this system, I think perfectly, exemplified tonight, in that he's making himself a handful for the opposition. He's starting to weave together the play between, the wing and the more central areas. And not only that, but between kind of the midfield and the attack. Basically, he's working both horizontally and vertically to bring everyone into play, to create opportunities, to carve out opportunities for himself, to draw defenders towards him, which will allow his teammates to run into that space. I think I really like what Sonny's doing, and I really liked what he was doing as he came on. There was that one opportunity he got when he went not clean through, but he got played through, and then the ball just kind of got stuck in his feet when he got into the box, which was disappointing. I was hoping he was going to be able to get a shot off. But I'm not worried about Son this year. I'm not worried about the fact he hasn't scored. I'm not thinking about that in the same way that I am with Richarlison, at least, because I'm not going to say that that's not Son's function in this team. It is. Son will need to chip in with goals, but I think Son is doing a lot for the team at the moment, and he's working hard, and I'm encouraged by how he's been performing so far. James Maddison, just a touch of class. He's just elite. When he came on, he showed that. He desperately wanted to win. You could see it. It's the type of mentality we need in the squad. We need more of. He works hard. He's just crisp in everything that he does. He's exciting. He's dynamic. He's brilliant. What a wonderful player. What an elite, brilliant, wonderful, incredible player. I was so wrong about him. But equally, I do think he's stepped up since he's come to Tottenham. In terms of, I think he's stepped up. I mean, I do think Tottenham is a step up from Leicester. Yes, I know they won the Premier League. I know they won the FA Cup, but it's what it is. Whatever, even if we have the privilege of being in London, it is what it is. But I think he's personally stepped up. Maybe he's relishing this move, and I just think he's phenomenal. Kulusevski, I thought was very handy again when he came on. I think he was dangerous. He was, making problems for Fulham. It seems like he's turning a bit of a corner at the moment, so that's at least a big positive for the season going forwards. Pape Matar, decent enough. I don't, he didn't get that long, and I don't feel like he was that involved. There's nothing that was really going on there that stood out for me with him, but I don't see that as a criticism of him. I just think it was a disjointed game. It was a strange lineup, strange evening. Dane Scarlett, I thought looked decent enough, looked tidy enough. I quite like to see him get a Premier League loan. I think Championship or a Premier League loan. I just don't think he looks quite good enough for Spurs yet, if I'm honest. I'm talking about to lead the line for us in the Premier League. I don't think his touch is quite there. I think some of his movement is encouraging. I think he makes decent runs. I think he seems to have a decent level of awareness in the box. I think with him, it's more a matter of technique. I just feel like his technique feels a little clunky. Like I said, I don't think his touch is great. I don't think there's the timing of his shots is always that good. We've been spoilt by Harry Kane. Obviously, we're going to keep saying this, but Scarlett, the way he sort of I call him Scon, like a mixture of Kane and Scarlett. Scon. It's a mixture of Son, Scarlett, and Kane. Scon. Scarlett doesn't seem to be like he didn't. There was one opportunity where I was hoping he'd be able to twist his body a bit more to get a shot more on target, and this was kind of towards the end, 80 plus minutes, when we were putting a bit of pressure on, and he just kind of like knocked it out to the side. Just think, stay behind on the training pitch for a few more sessions, mate. Stay behind after hours, kick more balls, trap more balls, shoot from different angles. Just really max out that technique, because physically he's looking much bigger. He actually looks like a man now, a fully grown man. And like I say, I think his awareness, the mental side of his game is decent. I think his physical side is decent. I think his mental side is decent. Just think his technique isn't quite there yet. And that's good, because that's the stuff that can come, with practice, with dedication. But as I say, do I want him leading the line for Spurs in the Premier League? Do I want to see us close this window with Richarlison and him as our two options up front? We don't know what Alcaraz is going to be like. We can't vouch for his quality yet. No, I'd like to see us add another face up there, if that's Gift Orban or what, but I don't know, that's gone very quiet, hasn't it? Brennan Johnson is a name that keeps getting floated about, but is he somebody that can play through the middle like that? Not from everything I'm hearing or seeing, so it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, rude awakening tonight. Sorry if I lost my arse a bit in the first half there, but what can I say? Final whistle went, I was cross, I was annoyed. I sat in my living room in a replica shirt because of you, Ange Postecoglou. That's what I did. Like a big man baby. A big, hairy man baby. But there we have it. If you have enjoyed the pod, please do like and subscribe. Share it. Leave me a rating. Leave me a review. Retweet it, repost it, wherever, Reddit. If you do enjoy these, I do pre-match podcasts. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. This is a great sell for the Patreon, isn't it? I do pre-match podcasts where I try my best to get an opposition fan on. I go through some of the match facts head to head and just offer my own thoughts on those. You get those on Patreon/RTR pod. I've also got on there the Robbie Keane Ultras. Me and my mate Jack Gallagher, we're going to be recording an episode of that this week. He's not a Spurs fan, he's a Derry City and Juventus fan. It's good to talk to him about how he feels things are going at Spurs. He's a football writer. So yeah, it's decent. And then I've got the Thursday bulletin that I record with Phil, where we just have a 20-minute quick episode where we go down, bang, 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 bullet points of all the headlines and all the talking points throughout the week in Spurs. So yeah, patreon.com/RTR pod. I put these post-match pods out on YouTube now, youtube.com/TedTrunkTV. Many of you follow me from there already, from doing my animations back in the day. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for all my old school followers. It's been a weirdly long time now, hasn't it, that I've been doing content, but some of you still pop up every now and again and make one of the jokes from one of my old episodes, so thank you. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But I'm also doing TikToks. Yeah, I am saying that as a fully grown man, just cutting up little bits of these post-game pods and whatever, TikTokifying them. It's not me doing any dances or anything like that, but it's RTR pod _TedTrunk on TikTok. So yeah, follow me on there, get my numbers up. Instagram, I'm posting stuff on there. Instagram, I don't know, TedTrunk. And if you've made it this far into the waffle, that's good, because I will let you in on a secret. It's not about me, selling you anything else. It's not about me asking you to follow me on anything else. But given the overwhelming support and, I guess, positivity, kind words I got about Spurs wipe before. I'm not going to be doing a full-on Spurs wipe. I don't have the time to do that. But what I will be doing from this point on, it's just a little thing, it's a little slice, it's a little kind of nod to Spurs wipe. I am going to be doing a monthly little wipe. It will be about a minute long. I'll be doing like a minute-long wipe at the end of each month. I've got my August episode written. I've got it narrated. I'm going to be basically working on it the next couple of days and getting that out ASAP. So if you did like Spurs Wipe, if you did like my old animations, I'll be bringing back a lot of that type of animation styling for these little monthly wipes, roundups, whatever you want to call them. But I'll be putting those out across Instagram, across YouTube, across TikTok, on Twitter, everywhere, basically. World domination. So yeah, that's quite exciting. I hope you're excited as well. I'm quite pumped by the idea. I'm quite happy with the first episode I've written. It's fun. Let's see where it can go. Thanks everybody for listening. Like I say, or watching. If you're watching on one of those many, many platforms that I've outlined just there. Thanks a lot. Annoying that we lost tonight, but we go again. Come on, you Spurs.